Welcome to the All the Stuff podcast, where we jam about money, clutter, and food, and the real stuff under this stuff. Join me, Lisa Carpenter, your resident food coach, along with my co-hosts, money coach Jen Turrell and clutter coach Lisa Sharp, as we help you release what's weighing you down and heal your relationship with food, money, and clutter from the inside out. Hey everyone, welcome to All the Stuff, the podcast where we talk about all the stuff. We talk about money, food, and clutter. I am Lisa Sharp. I am your resident clutter coach, here with my co-host Jen Turrell, who is our money coach, and Lisa Carpenter, who is our food coach. And today we're really getting close to the holidays. I'm not sure how that happens every year, but it always seems to sneak up on us. No matter how on top of it we seem to feel, it's always like, it's like a big surprise. So when the holidays roll around, all kinds of things happen. Some things really good and some things not so good. And we tend to kind of get out of control with our food, our spending, and our stuff. So I thought it would be a really good time to talk about what are sort of like the pitfalls of this time of year, and how can we kind of circumnavigate that? How can we take a little bit more control over these different areas in our lives, so that when the first rolls around, January 1st, we're not just all overwhelmed with the sense of like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that to myself. So I'd love to hear from you, Lisa. What would you have to say about food and the holidays?
Oh, the holidays. So it's like a landmine. Right after Thanksgiving in the U.S., it's like a landmine. Everywhere you go, there's chocolates on the counter, there's holiday parties, you can't hide from it. Everywhere you go, there's food out. And this is what a lot of my clients struggle with, is how to navigate. They're trying to take care of themselves, they're trying to eat healthy, but, one treat can turn into, a weekend of holiday treats, and then Monday morning they're not feeling so great and begin again. So it's really about dialing into your why again. I don't believe in deprivation. You guys know that. I do believe in moderation, but I also believe in truth-telling to ourselves. Truth-telling to ourselves, right?
Tell the truth that I'm wearing leggings instead of jeans today?
Nice.
I'm going to throw that in there. Okay, go ahead.
Truth-telling. So knowing that if you have that one butter tart or that one rum ball, you're actually going to have, it's going to be a slippery slope to nowhere good. And starting to make choices about what things you really want to have. Because remember, I know we forget this. Christmas comes around every year. It's not the last rum ball on earth. There will be more. There will be more butter tarts. And guess what? After Christmas, then we've got Valentine's Day, and then we got Easter, and the good times will keep rolling with the food. We will never be in short supply. So it's really good to remember that and make sure that you're eating things that you really enjoy, that you really love, but watch your portion sizes, because that one little plate, and I'm going to be doing a live stream on this in the group, that one little plate with just little bitty bits of goodness can end up being more than a full day's worth of calories, and you don't even realize it. So if you don't really like something, don't eat it, right? Really be conscious about your choices. Don't put any pressure on yourself to lose weight during the holidays. I think that's ridiculous. But I also challenge you to stay mindful and stay conscious so you're not adding any weight, because it sucks to go into the new year being like, wow, there's like 10 pounds I put on over the holidays. So I love for all my clients to go through the month of December and come out the other side having not gained and having not lost. That's a huge win. And you can learn how to do this with food by learning kind of the push-pull of, where your boundaries are. And that it just takes time to kind of learn that, but letting go of this all in, because it will be there again, right? And focusing on actually taking care of yourself through the holidays, which means in part being mindful of what you eat, not having a food hangover every day. That sucks. Totally sucks. So in my house at Christmas, I tend to not bring things into this house that I know are trigger foods for me. And when I say trigger foods, it's like I'm lying to myself if I say I'm not going to have any, and I totally love them. Like, why would I do that? I'll have it at somebody else's house. Maybe I won't have it at all. But I don't bring foods like that into the house in case somebody stops by. That's such a lie right there.
I want to know what your trigger foods are, Lise.
Yeah, me too. I want to know.
You know what? I'm a real sugar person. So any type of dessert, like once I've got a taste for dessert, it can be a very slippery slope for me. Like I love butter tarts, but I'll eat like the inside of the butter tart. I won't actually eat the pastry part because that just makes me feel so horrible. Last year I made shortbread cookies. So this speaks to the kind of the loop we can get into around addiction with food. I made shortbread cookies because I decided I'm going to make cookies this year. I'm going to be that mom. Not really that mom, but I was going to be the mom because Jake wanted to do the cookies and the decorating, or maybe they were sugar cookies. I got into the cookie dough. So cookie dough is a real trigger for me. I could eat cookie dough till the cows come home. And I got into the cookie dough. And even though I was fully distended, I looked like I was about 9 months pregnant. There was still cookie dough downstairs in the fridge. And I remember lying in bed and all I could think about was going to eat more cookie dough, even though I felt like I wanted to throw up from the cookie dough. And this is how trigger foods work. This is how addiction works. It's like, you don't want any more, but you want more. You obsess about it. It doesn't make any sense. That's how it works, right? People want to kind of understand addiction. You can't, it's crazy. You can't really understand it. So those are the foods that I avoid. So I will not be making cookies this year. Jake can go to his grandma's house to make cookies. And some people would say to me, well, you know, you should be able to have self-discipline or control. Why would I do that to myself? That's like saying to somebody who's in recovery from alcoholism, well, go to a bar and surround yourself with people who are drunk and just do your best. Like, why would we do that? I'm a really big believer of putting ourselves in supportive situations. How do I want to support myself this holiday season? What do I really need to give myself? What do I need to avoid? What are the things I am going to have? What are the things I am not going to have? You know, and another tip I give people is if you're at somebody's house and they've got a bunch of stuff, don't hang out at the food table. Women, hang out at the food table. Don't. Like, grab your friend and say, you know what? I don't want to hang out at the food table because I'm going to be like munching all night. Get something in your hand and move away from the food table. Like, have your plate, throw out your plate, right? And then move on. So just know thyself. Be a truth teller to yourself. It's not about beating yourself up. It's not about feeling shameful about it. It's about owning the pieces of you that's how it is today. Maybe a year from now I can eat shortbread cookie dough or sugar cookie dough and I will be able to stop at a bite. I don't believe that to be true for me right now. I didn't like how it felt. I'm not going down that road again. So that's kind of how crazy things can get with food. Not to mention, when the holidays are over, how crappy you feel when you move away from the sugar and the treats and go into that detox mode. Then you're dealing with the cravings, the craziness, the crying, like all the C's show up. I personally don't want to put myself through that. So Christmas can actually be a really healthy time. Turkey's healthy, vegetables are healthy, like when you look at Christmas dinner. I try to avoid as much of the crap as possible, but I also don't deny myself. If I really want something, I'm going to have it and I'm going to just move on. So that's how I cope with food. So just stay conscious, ladies. You'll be fine. And I'll pick you up in the new year if you're not, right? Because we always get to begin again. This is the thing for all the, we always get to begin again. So even if you have a horrible Christmas season, you haven't ruined anything, you'll begin again. But that is a pattern that you want to put the brakes on because it's no fun to live that way. All in, all out. Binge eating, dieting. Binge eating, dieting. It's just it's a sucky way to be.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Jen? What do you do with your money? What sort of patterns do you see, and how can we kind of circumnavigate the big pitfalls of going crazy because it's holidays and all bets are off and the credit cards?
You love people.
Never ever. Yeah, right?
You love people.
Oh. Well, can I jump in on food first?
I have something to say on that. Yeah.
Can I jump in on food, because this is a place where I really struggle.
Yeah.
As you guys know, I have gone to Lisa myself before because I struggle. And I did very much consider joining this last round of EAT, but I didn't because I knew I was doing NaNoWriMo. I knew I was in another course. And I didn't want to do the just in case. I wanted to buy it when I was really ready to fully just focus on that, which I think I do probably need to do in the new year, partially because of what happened over Thanksgiving. So for me, we are recording this in what I consider my extended Thanksgiving weekend because my kids have had snow days yesterday and today. So even though it is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving that we're recording this, I'm still in Thanksgiving mode, and I still have some leftovers. And it started early because we had a friend come and stay with us, and I wanted to make sure this friend of ours had a very homey, awesome Thanksgiving because he recently lost his partner. So we started it actually the day that he arrived. I did roast lamb. Like, I kind of pulled all the stops out and was trying to make kind of every day an awesome food, fun day. We did the cheese trays, which, Lisa, I've talked to you in the past. This is my trigger food, is cheese trays. I went to Whole Foods. I went all out. I spent a lot of money on cheese and beautiful crackers. And I don't know why, to me, like, cheese, a variety of beautiful, stinky, really pungent cheeses is my thing.
I'm like you, Jen.
Yeah, and the day after Thanksgiving, you know what I had for breakfast? Because it's okay the day after Thanksgiving, I had a slice of strawberry rhubarb pie with a wedge of Stilton.
Wow.
I know. And I was like, it's the day after Thanksgiving. I can do that. And I was allowing myself some things. And that is why I'm wearing leggings today and not jeans, because the jeans are biting my waist right now. And I'm like, oh man, I totally did that.
It's interesting how much food is love, right? So food and shopping, right? That's how we show love, right? So he could have cared less probably about all the food and all the done up. He just needed to be around his friends and feel love. But we attach so much to the food and the things, and this is when we can go overboard. I think personally, like I talk about cheese and wine and eat, I'd say that they're Christmas foods. Like if you're going to indulge in them, like that's when they get to come into my house at Christmas, because I love blue cheese.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah.
And the triple creams.
Oh my gosh.
Blue cheeses, triple creams.
But
and then I do
very quickly add up.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure that cheese tray that I put out, that may have been 4,000 calories, just the cheese tray, you know. 4,000.
Probably
here you go.
It could have been more. Yeah.
It's
so it was
probably more than that.
Right.
That's true, because pretty much the fat. It's the fat of dairy is what goes into the cheese.
Cheese is really calorically high. There's a tremendous amount of fat in it. It's not necessarily, bad for you fat, but a small chunk of cheese can be over like 300 calories, just like a quarter cup of that type of cheese. So not that I have people count calories, but this is what I mean. Like you put a little bit of brie and your, treats and stuff, and all of a sudden, you've eaten a full week's worth of calories.
Is it better if you eat it on an apple?
I do like Stilton with an apple too.
Right? The best.
And with some wine.
That's what I do. Like,
we've actually
a cheese tray. Now it's just like if I just eat a bunch of fruit and then a little bit of cheese, it's better than
just
doing the crackers or the baguettes.
Let go of the crackers at least with a little bit of fruit, and really put out modest amounts. And if you know that cheese is kind of your go-to, again, get what you want, be satisfied with what you eat, and don't stand next to the cheese tray, right? And send it home with people, because you will continue to eat it, right? We tend to overbuy thinking everybody else needs it, but that's where we're not truth-telling, because we know we want the leftovers. We know we're going to be digging into the fridge. When you start to admit that stuff to yourself and you're standing at the store and you're then buying a smaller piece, you really have to get honest with yourself, right? It's like buying the gifts. Do I really need to buy this $300 thing for this person? How do I feel if I only buy the $100 thing? It more has to do with how you feel as opposed to how they're going to feel. Oh, I don't want to look cheap. I feel like I'm not spending the money.
Right. Oh, she bought this for me last year.
Yes.
Oh, you remember that one time when I didn't have a gift for that one person and I felt like crap? So now I'm going to have a whole closet full of gifts because I'm going to put TJ Maxx out of business by going through all of these gifts and just loading up all this stuff into my cart and coming home with $400 worth of tchotchkes that I'm going to give away. Yeah. So there's very much a tie-in with stuff and love. And there's very much this sort of, it's like we get into like this fervor, right? It's like the prices are dropping and it can turn into like, I'm going to buy one for you and one for me and one for you and one for me. Oh, I haven't really bought myself many things this year. Oh, and this is on sale. This is a really good price. And next thing you know, you're just like, it's like the same thing with the cheese spread. It's like you can, once you crack that door, then we just sort of lose our heads. It's like, oh, well, it won't really matter. It's only $20. Oh, it's only $40. Oh, it's marked down. It used to be $500. Now it's only $350. What a steal. I'll take two, you know? And next thing, like Christmas just turns into this orgy of stuff, right? And then and most of the time we don't even have places to put all this stuff. And a lot of the time, honestly, like when my kids were little, my in-laws are very, very generous people. And when they were really little, they were also the first grandkids on that side of the family. And so we just got so much stuff. And the crazy thing is that the kids, and like Christmas, it would literally take everybody an hour of like constantly unwrapping, an hour to get through the presents. I was like, okay, this is a little bit much. And then you have all this stuff, you don't even appreciate what you've had. It's like the same thing with like a little bit of cheese. That can be like a really glorious thing. You know, you have a little bit of cheese, you have a little bit of wine, you have a little, and it's really festive. But what happens is the same thing with the stuff. We just kind of numb out with it. Totally. And then it just becomes the norm, and we're just like buying. And, you know, the stuff just keeps adding up on our butts and in our houses. And then, you know, come January, we get the Visa bill and we step on the scale and it's like, oh shit, what have I done?
Yeah, shit gets real.
But the thing is, it's not even that much fun. So I really want to challenge people who are going to say to this, you know, like, oh, it's the holidays. Oh, it's only once a year. Oh, but we have all of these traditions, right? People are really, really hooked into that. But we've done it this way for X amount of years. Therefore, we're going to continue doing it. But without like investigating, like, why are we actually doing this? Are we actually enjoying this? Do we actually feel good before, during, and after whatever this is during the holidays? And, you know, a lot of the time it's not. It's like we're just running around, going to every single party, going to, you know, like traveling to see every single relative. But we might be really miserable. And then what do we do when we're really miserable, when we're stressed out?
Eat and drink.
And we shop. And we blow off our finances. So then we're just digging this deep, deep hole. So I think just taking a step back and really kind of looking at like, what are we doing this year? How can I take a little bit more control over how I feel before the onslaught? You know, before we're already in it. Because it's really hard to course correct when it's coming at you from all different angles, right? Yeah. So if you kind of go into it with a game plan, like what Lisa was saying about like before you go to the party, you know, like not standing next to the thing, you know, the food table, or eating something before you go, or saying, I am going to spend $500 on presents for, you know, this person, that person, this person, and having, well, truthfully, that's what I would do. But, you know, everybody has different norms. Mm-hmm. But, you know, getting the list, getting the money out in cash, so that you don't have the sticker shock in January, you know, and actually planning for it. And it's not that everything is going to go perfectly if you plan for it. It's just that you have a much higher chance of enjoying yourself in a way that you don't get to when you just take your foot off the brakes totally. Yeah. I mean, it seems like a really good idea in the moment, but it rarely is.
Yeah. You know, one thing over Thanksgiving that we did this year that we don't usually do that did help me a lot and that I thought was a really great idea is normally whoever hosts it pretty much hosts it. You know, there'll be some help, but because we decided it was easiest at my house, and if anyone's listened very long, you know I have kids with special needs. Sometimes Tallulah has a hard time being at somebody else's house for an extended period of time, and we've had times where we've just left, sometimes in the middle of the meal, sometimes not even getting to the meal. So we did it here, but because everyone was like, realized that, you know, we kind of have a lot on our plate right now, we potlucked it. So my mom actually bought the turkey and brought it over, and I cooked it, at our house, so it would be all ready and hot. And we did roasted vegetables, and I bought a pie and the cheese. I bought the cheese, and I did buy some booze. But all of the side dishes, everybody else brought. And then when it was time to pack everything up, I completely stripped the turkey, and we made plates for every family.
Oh, nice.
So everyone could have turkey, everyone could have stuffing, and here's my little Miffy. Hey, Miffy. What are you doing, sweetie?
Well, I was wondering if you could open the bags of the papers.
You know what? I'm recording the show right now. Do you want to say hi to everybody real quick? Okay, go ask Heather, okay? Ask Heather. And please shut the door, okay? Thank you, sweetie.
Real
like
life.
I said, it's a snow day. Luckily, I did get a babysitter, so we can still record. But yeah, doing the potluck and then packing everybody off with shares of pretty much everything meant, we still have a little stuff left, but I wasn't left with a huge fridge full of stuff, and I also didn't buy everything, which I often do. I don't know how you guys do yours.
That's what we do too. Everybody brings
potluck
stuff over. So, it all gets consolidated, which is perfect. And it's, the holidays can turn into, it's like Vegas. Right?
Yes.
Everybody loses their mind, and it really speaks to a lack mentality, right? A lack and scarcity. Like there's not going to be food next week. Like there's not going to be Godiva chocolates next month. Like you're not going to be able to have a butter. Trust me, anything you eat at Christmas, you will be able to find year round. And if it's something that, if somebody makes something with a lot of love, like some people are real bakers and they give that, then great. Like savor that. But you don't need to savor every bloody tinned cookie, every chocolate that's lying around, you can step back and say, this is not how I want my holiday season to be. And really take responsibility for how you want to feel come the new year. I've committed, and I've said this in previous shows, that I will no longer debt, because that's an issue for me. Christmas was like, I got a debt. Not this year. I'm working between the lines because I want to go into January having not accrued any more debt. Otherwise, what's the point in me busting my butt to pay down my debt? So what comes up for me is, and this happens with food as well. Well, that's no fun. It's not as fun. It feels like I'm going to be the party pooper, right? So if you go to a party and you're the one with the vegetables on your plate and everybody else is having all the wine and all the cheese and all the stuff, how does that make you feel? Do you feel left out? Do you feel like you're not part of the party? Do you feel like you're not going to be liked as much or loved as much or whatever it may be? There's a whole bunch of feelings actually tied into what's really going on. And I also want to say, Jen, because I know you love your fancy drinks, alcohol can really add up over the holidays. So if you are eating and drinking and you are not paying attention, you can really pack on a lot of pounds. And although it may be fun in the moment, right, party in the mouth, not so great when all of a sudden your clothes don't fit, right? When those feelings sink in, you're not going to feel sexy. You're not going to feel confident. And you're going to be back in that place of feeling like, great, now I have to deprive myself. Now I have to work hard. Now I have to do all these things, which I don't want you to have to do. So just be a little bit more conscious this season with your spending, with your eating, with the stuff you're bringing into your house. Like we personally, Lisa, you'll love this, we don't tend to buy a lot of stuff anymore. My kids get usually, gift cards for clothes because they're older. With Jake being younger, we buy experiences. So last year I bought my parents hockey tickets. They're in Phoenix. So they went, to see the Vancouver Canucks in Phoenix. Probably, I think, the two worst teams in the league this year, but whatever. My brother, who's, he's over like San Francisco area. I'm looking at activities around where he lives that he can take his family to, so there's no staff. Like, I want them to go out and experience things. Jake, I'm looking at experiences he can do with his grandparents. So again, he doesn't need more toys. We don't need more books. We don't need more stuff. So really think outside the box in terms of the gifts that you're giving people, because those experiences will mean way more than the overspending you did on the scarf that they don't really need and don't really like, don't really want, that they're going to donate
declutter eventually.
Amen.
Right?
That I'm going to be like, oh no, it really is okay. You really can give that away. You really don't have to keep that. You really don't. So give me less to do by stopping this at the front, at the beginning of this. So to wrap this up, I know we could go on. We have a lot. I think we might even need to do another show about this. But I think the thing that I want to leave everyone with is quality over quantity in all of these aspects. Like really, like if you're gonna do the thing, get the very best. Enjoy the very best that you can afford, that you want to do, and I mean that calorically or financially or stuff-wise. Like if you're gonna do it, really enjoy it, and don't go for just, leave the Pringles.
Exactly. Good job.
Get the good stuff, enjoy the hell out of it, and let that be your celebration for the holidays. Yeah.
And move on. So just as a teaser note, because, one day, Jen, you will be inside the EAT program. I am going to be opening it up for Boxing Day. I don't know how many days, but it's going to be open for a very short amount of time before I do my bigger launch come the new year, where the price will be increasing significantly. So if you're watching this, you're going to want to make sure that you're on my list. And if it's something you're interested in jumping in, you're going to want to jump in before the price goes up. So
Boxing Day sounds like a good day to do it too.
Right?
And I won't be in any other programs by then, at least. That's something I've recognized about myself. If I try to do two things at once, even if one of them is me supporting a friend and I'm in the group doing stuff, I can't really do another one. I half-ass them. So that's one of my commitments.
Let's whole ass. All right.
I'm going to use my whole ass for whatever I do from now on.
Whole ass Christmas. Let's whole ass doing courses. Let's all in.
Yeah.
We're going for quality.
No more one-cheekers.
No more one-cheekers. All right.
So if you love this episode, I think we should probably wrap up. If you love this episode, make sure you rate us, review us, subscribe to us on iTunes. I don't know if that will ever fully just like flew. Please share this episode if you know somebody who would benefit from hearing our words of wisdom, insanity.
And who wouldn't want a little bit of help around the holidays?
Exactly.
It's true. If you're watching on iTunes, be sure to subscribe to, not iTunes, watching on YouTube. I'm getting confused. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to our channel and leave us a comment below. Let's talk about what you struggle with over the holidays and what you want to do better this year.
And come over to our private Facebook group where we will be talking about all of this, I'm sure. And get some support, come over and just hang out with us and let us know what's going on in your world during the holidays and what you're struggling with. So thank you, ladies. It's been a very interesting conversation, and I hope it is of benefit to many. Please share, and thanks for coming and joining us today. Bye.
Bye.